How to quickly set up a webcam eye tracking study. Let's dive right in. Labvanced has built-in webcam eye tracking that you can easily activate for your next experiment. Simply create a new study. To enable webcam eye tracking, go to the Study Settings tab and from all the features, select Activate Eye Tracking. Now, webcam eye tracking is officially activated. Of course, here you can also specify exactly how you want the settings of the webcam eye tracking to be like, the length of the calibration process, and more. For more info, see our docs. Going back to the study, you activate eye tracking for that particular task. To record data, you need to make an event. An event is essentially like an instruction that tells Labvanced what to do and when. When should data be recorded? That's the trigger. Data should be recorded when there is gaze. What should be done? That's the action. We want to record the data so that goes into a variable. Click the pencil icon, which is the Value Select menu, gives you a list of options you can record and store in the variable. Under the Trigger Eye Tracking Gaze category, you can see a list of eye tracking related data to pick from for recording. We will select the option that records X and Y coordinates, the timestamp, and the confidence interval in an array. Now, we have to specify where this data should be saved. Click Select to indicate the variable for where it will be stored. Then click New Variable and name it. The format is array because there are several values. The data type is numeric. Finally, we want to record all changes in time series as we want to see the gaze across time. At this point, you have set up a basic eye tracking study where gaze is the trigger for array data to be recorded and stored in a variable. But let's say you want to keep going and set up owies. Let's quickly make that and also test out the experiment and preview the data. Simply go to the event trigger and remember to indicate that the trigger should be active only when the gaze is looking at specific elements. A target must be added which will serve as the area of interest. To make an AOI in this example, we will add two image objects. One will act as a target and the other as a distractor. The first image object we will rename to be the target image and the second object we will call the distractor image. Now, going back to the event we created earlier, we can add our two AOIs and data will be recorded only when gaze falls on either of these two targets. To track which specific files were shown during the trials, we will make an event called Image Presented. In this case, we want the trigger to be as soon as the trial frame starts. Then, we select to record the variable. For the Value Select menu, we will choose to record an object property, since that's what a file name is. We select the target image object and then choose its file name object property from the drop-down. That will be stored in a variable we will call the target image name, which has a string data type. Then we repeat the process for the distractor image object to record its file name as well. Now, for file names to be recorded, we need to add images to the experiment. You simply select the object and upload the relevant stimuli, creating as many trials as there are stimuli. Clicking through the drop-down trials that are shown, you can see that each trial automatically takes on an image. Let's repeat the same process for the distractor images and add them to the editor. As a side note, this is just one approach for adding stimuli. Going through the trials, you can see the images are there for each trial. For more information about this process, please refer to our documentation on the trial system or task wizard if you are using that. Remember to save your progress as you go. Now we will quickly test it out. We want the trials to go automatically, so we will simply set the duration to 2000 milliseconds per frame. Also, under Study Settings, we will choose a loose chin rest option and the shortest calibration length. Under the Run tab, we can now activate data recording and do a quick session to test everything out. A short calibration will proceed and then the 5 trials we made will be presented. Now that that's done, we can take a look at the data from the Data View and Export tab. You can see that for the trials we have the image names and in the time series folder there is all the data. The last column contains the array with the X and Y coordinates as well as the timestamp and the confidence interval. You can further customize the data view and presentation so that exporting suits your data analysis process. At this point, you have gone beyond setting up a basic eye tracking study and can start recording data. Please remember that the event details and overall structure varies from experiment to experiment. So if you need a consultation about how to best proceed with your project, please reach out to us and we will be glad to help. Contact us today for a feasibility check and let us advise you on how to best proceed with your upcoming research project.